Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together to BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss a musical artist. I'm Jason. With me
I'm Tim.
Hey, that works.
And I guess I'm Bill.
And you're still here.
Somehow. Could have been me.
We're talking The Descendents, and we're talking I Don't Want to Grow Up. If you missed the first video, go click the playlist link down below. We're talking about I Don't Want to Grow Up. Bill, why don't you start us off with I Don't Want to Grow Up?
Alright, so, again, really glad I listened to this discography for a second time through. If you want to hear some, go back, watch the Milo Goes to College episode. As that one, phenomenal bass. Was still a phenomenal bass on this album, but the drummer really kicked it up this album, in my opinion.
The drummer, whatever he was doing.
The drummer was really kicked it up a notch on this album, you know. He was doing some stuff that you just don't usually see sometimes in a lot of, especially the more popular bands, where they're just sitting there, you know, doing the bass drum, you know, couple snares, hi-hats, you know, just being done with that. Like, he's actually, it's not beat changes, but he's mixing up. He's doing, you know, going through his rotation and then going back. It's not just the constant thing over and over again. Actually, like some, I don't want to call them drum solos, but, you know, like, more times we're like, all right, and drums going to emphasize here for, you know, a couple, you know, notes, not notes, but measures, you know, Sager and the other instruments take a backseat. And I really like the drums coming through on this album. Also, some really good songs on this album. I actually like the first half is good, but I think the second half of this album is a lot better than the first half. At least to me, it was. Because especially going the stretch of Silly Girl to In Love This Way to Christmas Vacation to Good Good Things, I love that string of songs. That's a I would say it's one of my top 3 string of songs in this discography. Is that string of songs right there? Just between the lyrics, the messages in those songs, as well as, again, the drums, the vocals. I mean, he toned it down volume-wise a little bit, which, again, if you go back to Milo, it'll make more sense why I'm saying that comment. And the melody is even more prevalent, I think. I like this album for a lot of reasons that I just listed off.
So you like No FB?
You know, No FB, it's one hell of a song. Took me 3 listen throughs and the comments section on YouTube for me to actually see what they were actually singing. Yeah, what I love is one of the top comments was "No Flat Fear." I'm like, I could get behind that. But no, here's the thing. It's a fun song, but it's not a stupidly silly fun song. You know, kind of like Pervert. You know,
because I'm a pervert.
It's, you know, kind of a more fun song, but it isn't like a stupidly silly fun song. We'll get to that a little bit later on.
Well, that, you know, that I didn't really talk about it with Milo, but that's one reason some of their lyrics are so juvenile. I mean, they were kids, you know.
They were kids, yeah.
And
punk kids at that.
The fact that they can, I'll talk more about it when we get to Enjoy, but the fact that they can put something like that next to a Silly Girl or In Love This Way or Good Good Things, for instance, or Hope. The fact that they can, like, write something that amazing at that level, I don't know, it's mind-blowing. They're fucking special. I don't know what to say. I love this band.
Well, okay, so I think the step up in drums is due to the fact of Bill Stevenson joining Black Flag in between Milo Goes to College and this album. He did, what, like 3 or 4 albums with them, a bunch of singles, a couple tours. Like, he became a professional musician. And And then the other side of that coin is Milo went to college, and now he's got to do something. And I want to point out that 1985 is going to be. I'm gonna predict that that's our toughest meat grinder year ever. Because the amount of quality across so many genres of just excellent stuff that came out in 1985, you could almost argue it's the height of music.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We will. And this is going to fall into my argument. I think that obviously, yeah, the Black Flag experience brought a lot to this album. It brought a lot to this band. I also think Milo, going to college. Everybody else is out of high school now. I think that all the hardcore elements are still here. I mean, we're 14 songs in just under 29 minutes. That's still pretty good. But we're approaching songs here. And I think overall the songwriting went up here. I think the melodies are a lot stronger throughout this one. I was actually taken aback. I don't know if I had heard this one in full back in the day, just because it wasn't available to me. But hearing it now, I'm just for what it is, for the time it came out, for what it represents, and for what it was a part of, I'm just all about it. Because I love that 80s hardcore. What a great time to be alive and be able to create art. Yeah, I'm not even going to go through the songs. Is there a bad song on the album? Because I didn't find one. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
There's no bad songs. I guess I'll go through my notes. I mean, how do you follow up Milo Goes to College with I Don't Want to Grow Up? Descendents, always great when a band has a theme song. We're the proud, the few, the Descendants, picking our butts tonight. I Don't Want to Grow Up, Milo on Purpose, childish, whiny vocal delivery, sells it, 100%.
And it predates Tom Waits.
Yep.
And thus predating the Ramones.
Yep. Pervert. Yeah, this one would get canceled nowadays, but it's an interesting look at the psyche of Americans, especially younger Americans, and how our society has labeled sex in such a negative light.
And how it's changed in the last 40 years.
Where people are shamed and embarrassed over something as healthy as sex. It's a weird world we live in. Plus, the want it all the time part is really fun to sing. And they not necessarily this song. There's other songs on here, but they've since come out and apologized and said, "Hey, we were fucking kids," Rockstar.
In the 80s.
It's the last Frank song we're gonna get for a while. It's fucking punk rock. No FB, another one they've since apologized for. Still great. Can't Go Back. Songs like Can't Go Back are a good example of why I like this band more than a lot of their contemporaries. They added this slight pop-punk element that just hits every note for me. Good Clean Fun is classic. My World's good. Theme's fine. Silly Girl, it's classic. It's probably their most known song, ? I
would probably have argued that before I did my research. Because it wasn't the song I thought of when I thought of the Descendents. But now that I've heard everything and I've done my research, that might be the song.
And it may just be because I knew the Atari's cover of it pretty early.
Sure.
So that it might be why to me, when I think Descendants, I think of Silly Girl. In Love This Way is very Beatles sounding. It works. I love Christmas Vacation. They nail the background vocals. It's fucking some sad ass shit though. Good Things is probably my favorite on the album. it just like builds and builds, and the chorus just fucking explodes. Bill fucking drives the song. Ace is good, but it's close to 4 minutes long, which is weird for the Descendants.
I liked that though, and it's gonna happen a few more times on a couple more albums.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I actually welcomed it every time.
Weird.
Yeah, they were, there were little rocks under your tires to make you fall off that skateboard, and it worked every time for me. And this was just the first really time that I was like, oh, okay, interesting.
And I think this is the period where, because he was in Black Flag, where Bill had a bunch of songs wrote, and he like went to Milo and said, hey, I got these songs, but they're not really Black Flag songs. I mean,
because this is when Black Flag, of course, is really digging deep into their Sabbath worship and really just slowing everything down.
I mean, Black Flag doing Silly Girl that would have been interesting.
I feel like Keith Morris era could have done it.
Yeah,
maybe
this was Rollins,
even
right?
like Ron Reyes era.
85 was Rollins?
Dez? Man, I don't think Dez could have done Silly Girl, but maybe.
Either way, I'm glad they put this fucking record out as a Descendants.
Some people have argued that punk rock died around this time, but I would present this, as well as a handful of other albums that were coming out at the time, as evidence that punk rock is not quite yet dead. It might smell that way, but it's not dead yet.
Yeah, I fucking love this record. If anybody else got anything to add? Oh, I guess we gotta talk about bonus fat in this episode too.
And I did want to agree with Bill on one thing. I find the B-side stronger as well. Like, the album just gets better and better as you go.
Yeah, I'll give it that. Yeah, I mean, Good Things is my favorite. Christmas Vacation.
Sure.
It's not like the A side is necessarily bad. It's just the B side.
The B side's strong.
It's better. Yeah.
It's hard. It's fucking hard. So yeah, I know we're gonna miss some songs here. They got an extensive catalog. They need to put out a B-sides collection, but we'll probably miss some stuff. Whatever. We're old and we're drunk.
I'm not that old yet. Don't worry, guys. I'll try and hold it down.
Yeah, you whippersnappers.
Right? Chug that beer.
So bonus fat.
Well, speaking of old and drunk, there was a movie back in the 80s with Christian Slater called Pump Up the Volume.
Yeah, there was.
Fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, it's one of the most punk rock movies ever made. Like, it's just so good. And there's a great scene where they actually play Wiener Schnitzel like 3 or 4 times. And it's good stuff.
There's so many. Even this fucking EP, I Like Food, Mr. Bass, like. I mean, those are all like, if you were to make a Descendants' greatest hits, you got to have those on there,
Mm-hmm. Well, and so the version I heard, the more fat, or the bonus fat, or whatever it's called, which is whatever's on, the streaming services right now, also had the very first single that they ever did before Milo was even in the group. Ride the Wild and It's a Hectic.
Yeah,
World.
that's on this one.
Okay, cool. And of course, Ride the Wild, they're going to redo in 2021. So so we'll get there when we get there. But I just want to throw out that I do love that original version. It's so 60s sounding in a way. It's really cool.
Yeah, they do a little bit of...
This whole thing was great.
There's a little bit of surfer rock that California vibe mixed in some of the next albums we'll talk
Yeah,
about too.
yeah. We've got 8 songs, 10 minutes.
Pretty legit.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, My Dad Sucks. I always got like Germs vibes from it.
Sure. Mr. Bass was awesome. That was like a really good song.
My notes, classic early Descendents. It's good.
Yeah.
My note, I like food. Maybe this is their most known song? Question mark. Either way, top song contender. Doesn't bullshit around. Gets the point across quickly and efficiently. You got Hey Hey's anti-war song. You got fucking Wiener Schnitzel. You want Bill Sperm with that?
No.
And then you got I'm glad we're not ranking this one. We're just talking about it. This is all good shit. Must hear.
Yep. I would agree.
What about you, Bill? Did you do your extra homework?
I spent way too much time listening to every album repeatedly to do the extra homework, I'll be honest. But
8 songs, 10 minutes.
This is early shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you like Milo Goes to College and I Don't Want to Grow Up, then this should absolutely supplement your collection.
All right. Anybody else got anything to add about I Don't Want to Grow Up? All I can say is they go for all. I want to be the one to guess these rankings, though. I want to go first. I'm going to say Bill liked this one more than Milo.
actually, you would be wrong.
Fuck.
I do have it right behind, though.
Shit, now you got me questioning. Because I was going to say Tim likes this one more than Milo, too.
You would be correct for Tim.
Thank God I got one of them right.
Now, do you get the third one right? Do you get the tiebreaker?
Now, do I like it more than Milo? Because I don't know.
This is the hardest one here.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. But it's...
You're wrong.
No, I'm right. I could be wrong. I don't know. Fuck.
Bass, for me, bass trumps drums when like I'm going by musical. I love a good bass over a good drums.
Yeah. Yeah. They've always had a good bass player. They've always had
Drummers-
a good drummer,
Good
too.
drummer.
They've always had a great
Drummers
drummer.
out there, don't bash me too hard. I know you guys work hard too.
That's the Descendents is a drummer run band. Like Bill is the Descendents. He is
Yeah,
all.
he's producing all this shit too and writing, a quarter of it.
A lot of those songs that fucking Lucky, that's a Bill song. We'll
I
get to
Like
that one
Food
later.
is a Bill song.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if we want to go through it. You know.
No, we don't want to go through it. We don't want to go through it. I mean, I could go through Milo. You know.
Vikage.
Oh, I thought it told you who wrote them. Shit. That might be on the actual record. But yeah.
No, I loved I Don't Want to Grow Up. And just a great album.
I'm not
I-
going to say you're wrong. You know, that I could easily switch them. They're both fucking great. So
They are both great. I did feel that the songwriting was a little better
I don't know.
while still retaining that actual like punk rock feel.
I don't know, man. Hope and Bikeage alone. M16. I don't know. I think
Well,
they wrote some pretty good songs.
I
on their-
did have the thought a number of times going through the discography how this is definitely going to be one we redux in a year and a half, and I'll be interested to see if my rankings change because I'm going to definitely be spending more time with these. So
Yeah. Just don't buy I Don't Want to Grow Up on vinyl because there's only 2 copies left. Unless you and I just go out and buy them right now.
unavailable.
All right.
Look that up real quick.
Fuck you, man. Now it's a race to buy it.
All right.
All right.
Oh no, I'm sure I could find a copy.
We're gonna wrap this up. Up next is Enjoy. That's gonna be a fun one. Really curious to see how our Bill likes the other Bill's songs. Yeah, be safe, make good decisions.
Don't grow up.
I don't